of waiting,
We're ready to go and get started.
there's hope that a new arena
There won't be any stoppages.
could draw in an NBA team. Why skeptics are turning a new page when it comes to the future of All-Net Arena on the north end of the Strip.
The race for the governor's mansion gets a little more crowded.
They want a Nevada that works for everyone and not just a privileged few.
We have the complete list of people Chris Giuliani will be running against next year and how she's been preparing for the state's top elected post.
And we're tracking all those clouds out there, even some showers popping up on our radar. We'll show you what to expect in your neighborhood coming up in your most accurate forecast.
Now, live, this is 8 News Now at 6.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Christiane Klein.
And I'm Denise Valdez. The Las Vegas skyline is changing as new buildings start rising from the ground, showing a lot of progress is being made now since the Great Recession.
And one of those projects is at Resorts World, with just awarded $400 million in construction contracts and is expected to open in 2020.
There's even some work going on in downtown Las Vegas, where the Las Vegas Club is now being demolished to make room for a new resort casino from the same people who were behind the deed.
Now, meanwhile, on the north end of the Strip, All-Net Arena looks like it's finally making some progress of its own. The arena would be built on the former site of Wet n Wild, just south of the SLS. As 8 News Now reporter John Langler explains, after a Clark County Commission vote today, even skeptics are now saying the project is likely to happen.
In the back of the room was Jackie Robinson, as Clark County commissioners briefly discussed the former NBA and UNLV players' $2.7 billion All-Net project. He said nothing. There was little to add to what Robinson unveiled 3 years ago, bringing an NBA arena and resort to Las Vegas. Ground was broken back in 2014. After that, almost nothing happened. But here he was, watching his plans get approved again.
I'm so excited about this project getting off the ground finally.
With that, Robinson says work can begin.
You want to do it right. You only have, I feel, one bite of the apple. And so now we're ready to go and get started, and there won't be any stoppages.
8 News Now first reported in September on revised plans from All-Net. The arena stayed, but the retail space was bigger, so was the convention space. And more importantly, another hotel tower was added, 163 stories tall. The difference between now and a few years ago comes down to one thing.
We have 100% of the money.
Financing.
He had to be very prudent about making sure that we didn't have another problem like a Fontainebleau, where they didn't have enough money to finish the construction. He's got the money in the bank.
Robinson also has the support of neighbors at Turnberry Place, who are pleased with shopping options and dedicated access.
We hope that the commission is diligent in preparing a decommissioning plan so that this project does stall at any point along the way, that it's taken care of.
Robinson says even with T-Mobile Arena, the North Strip needs an arena too, with or without the NBA. He says his project doesn't need pro basketball. Now it just needs time.
We're a resort. We're just not an arena.
John Langler, 8 News Now.
All-Net plans to start digging on the site before the end of the year. A few more agreements have to be finished with the county, though. Construction is expected to take about 3 years.
Well, wildfires are still burning in Northern California, but some homeowners are finally getting back to their neighborhoods, and they're being greeted with devastation. Igor Sill lives in Napa. His home sits on the family winery. For a few hours today, he was allowed back on his property and found his home destroyed, along with wine barrels charred, equipment melted, and his house completely gone.
You look at all this, you look at all your hard work, what's going through your mind?
The amount of effort it's going to take to rebuild all this.
Sorry to hear about it. Sill says he's going to do just that, rebuild, so he can continue producing wine in his vineyard, which, unlike his actual winery, escaped the flames and will be ready to harvest next year.
All right, getting our first check of weather tonight at 6 o'clock with some clouds today, and we've got some strong winds coming in by Friday. Ted?
Yeah, that looks like it's going to happen for sure Friday. That has not changed. One thing's for sure, though, the clouds are out there like we told you they would, and even some spots of showers in some spots. But you'll notice our Doppler sweeps are going around, but even with those Doppler returns we're seeing, a lot of that not touching the ground. And here's why. Notice your humidity only at 8%, but your dew point only 14 degrees. These need to go up for that actual rain to actually reach the ground. So it's basically hitting this drier air and evaporating. Anything that does come in the form of showers that actually touches the ground will really just be just sprinkles or just spits of rain, unfortunately. So here's what's coming up. Weather headlines, clouds sticking around. More wind is headed our way, along with that weekend cool down, and then warmer next week. Could we actually reach 90s next week? We'll have details on that coming up in your most accurate forecast in just a couple minutes.
Clark County Commissioner Chris Giunciliani announced that she is entering the race for governor. The Democrat made her bid earlier today on the steps of the Las Vegas Academy. She's hoping to replace Governor Brian Sandoval when he terms out next year. Giunciliani says she spent the past year making her way around the region and listening in the past few months to her constituents, trying to learn about the concerns facing Nevadans. So who else is running? Well, Democrat and County Commissioner Steve Sisolak, Republican State Treasurer Dan Schwartz, and Republican small business owner Jared Fisher have also announced they will run. And it is expected that Republican Attorney General Adam Laxalt will also enter the race. By the way, stick around for our news here at 6:30. Politics Now co-host Steve Sebelius will be in our studio, and we'll be hearing from Chris Giunciliani herself about today's big announcement. Again, that's coming up here in about 25 minutes. Meantime, the Democratic National Committee is hosting its fall meeting here in Las Vegas. They're over at Bally's Hotel and Casino. Now, in addition to electing new members, it also has a unity committee, which is working to try and bridge the gap between liberal and moderate factions within the party as it gears up for the 2018 midterm elections.
And speaking of political campaigns, Oprah Winfrey's good friend and CBS This Morning co-host Gayle King asked the former Queen of Daytime about a potential bid for the White House.
2020, I'm wondering if you've narrowed down your short list of VP candidates.
Oh, she's lost her mind now. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
No.
It took me a minute to follow. I'm like, VP candidate. 2020, I was thinking of the show.
People ask it all the time. Even I am now starting to think the rules have changed about running for president. I said I would bet my firstborn that you would never do it, and Kirby goes, hey.
Well, you can be safe with that. There will be no running for office of any kind for me. But I thought you wanted to talk about my
So there you have it. Don't expect to see Oprah Winfrey's name on the ballot when you go to the polling station in 2020. Of course, that is still a few years away, so she has plenty of time to change her mind. But as of today, a presidential run is a no-go for Oprah. The opioid crisis is a focus for many of the state's regulatory boards. At least one Nevadan a day dies from an opiate overdose, and state officials are trying to figure out how to change that. As Patrick Walker explains, the Pharmacy Board is one part of the larger effort to combat prescription drug abuse.
This is obviously a case of an error.
Beginning its meeting in Las Vegas Wednesday, the normally Northern Nevada-based State Board of Pharmacy is hearing disciplinary cases.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
The board hit pharmacist Edward Bowarski with a $1,000 fine for not verifying the dosage of a substitute prescription that went out to a patient.
Eventually, she was getting a little bit better. She was following up with the doctor.
You know, a managing pharmacist needs to be aware of what's going on in the pharmacy.
Others don't get off that easily. 3 pharmacy technicians who did not show up to the disciplinary hearing lost their licenses. They had all been stealing pills while filling prescriptions, including opiates, and selling them. They had also been abusing the drugs.
When an individual violates the law in an unlawful diversion situation, the board will revoke their license.
Board Attorney Brett Kant says its mission is patient protection.
The governor is working very diligently to combat the opioid crisis, and the Board of Pharmacy takes its role in that fight very seriously.
But it's a balance amid the bigger battle of combating opioid addiction. That's something the state is still trying to tackle. Patrick Walker, 8 News Now.
And 8 News Now will dig deeper into how pharmacies play into the opioid crisis as part of a much larger series. Our Pain, the Opioid Conundrum, will be airing here in November.
Henderson is close to getting in on the recreational marijuana action. Sales of legal pot expected to begin on Friday within Henderson city limits. Dispensaries there still need final approval, though, for a state license and a city inspection of their facilities. But this could help boost tax revenues even more for the state. Without Henderson's help, sales already hit a whopping $27 million in the first month of recreational sales, and that was back in July.
Well, still ahead on the Valley's news later, his co-worker calls him a hero. We hear what Jesus Campos told Ellen DeGeneres in his first and possibly only interview with the media after getting shot by Stephen Paddock on the 32nd floor of Mandalay Bay. The Mandalay Bay security guard shot in the leg during the 1 October event is speaking publicly for the first time about the shooting. Jesus Campos and the engineer who was also on the 32nd floor that night shared their experience with Ellen DeGeneres. As Michelle Mortensen reports, both went into great detail of the moments before and after the shooting.
Thank you both for being here. And first of all, how are you both doing?
I'm doing better each day. Slowly but surely, just healing physically and mentally.
Speaking publicly for the very first time with Ellen DeGeneres, Jesus Campos relived the moments that forever changed his life.
As I was walking down, I heard rapid fire, and at first I took cover. I felt a burning sensation. I went to go lift my pant leg up and I saw the blood. That's when I called it in on my radio that shots have been fired.
Maintenance engineer Stephen Schuck joined Campos in the interview and credited him for saving his life.
And that's when Jesus, he leaned out and he said, take cover, and yelled at me, and within milliseconds, if he didn't say that, I would have got hit.
Both men also shared their appreciation for the Metro officers and first responders that night.
I just want to mention all the people that assisted that night, whether it was Metro, the FBI, the community especially coming together to help everyone in need, the first responders, even the people that got called in to assist in the hospitals. And just everything puts pieces together on how everyone came together to help that night, even in the darkest hour.
I think the acts of humanity were major that night, and I want to thank Jesus again, from my family and all my friends and everybody for saving my life.
And Ellen says that neither man would accept payment for their interview. However, she did give Schuck a VIP experience to meet the Indianapolis Colts and tickets to an upcoming game. And Campos was gifted season tickets to the Raiders when the team comes here to Las Vegas. Shutterfly also donated $25,000 to the victims' GoFundMe account in their names.
Well, on the heels of that, a Columbine shooting survivor is in town delivering a message of hope. Liz Carlston was just 17 when two seniors at her high school gunned down 12 students and her basketball coach. 18 years later, Carlston is sharing her story of healing. She admits going through a range of emotions before accepting what happened. Carlston says acts of kindness helped her shed her pain.
You start to feel numb, you cry, and then you can't cry anymore, and you don't trust people because bad things happen. But that's when we lose, when we give in to that pain and to that trauma. We can choose a different way. And truly, for pain and anger, there is no better antidote than kindness and service.
Carlston has traveled to other parts of the country that have experienced mass shootings, including Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut, where 20 children and 6 adults were gunned down.
Not as warm today, all because of the cloud cover. 81 degrees are high. If we didn't have all that clouds outside right now, our temperatures probably would have been in the mid-80s for the day today. Compare that to Bismarck, ND, 62 degrees for their high, but they're in the 40s outside right now. So temperatures were still quite comfortable despite all the cloud cover we had. 76 degrees right now in Centennial Hills, Spring Valley at 75. Aliante, you're currently at 78. North Las Vegas coming in at 80 even. Just a digit below that for Sunrise Mountain, 80 degrees. Green Valley and Henderson Anthem right now at 79. Mountain's Edge, you're coming 78. That includes also our friends out there in Rhodes Ranch. Pahrump at 80 even. 80 for Mesquite as well. Boulder City 79 along with Searchlight. 88 currently for Laughlin, so still warm for you, mild down there, downriver in Laughlin. Cloudy skies overhead right now, and you'll notice we are getting some returns coming back, some echoes coming back on our radar, but again, it's just too dry at the surface for any of that to really reach the ground or give us some good rainfall. Unfortunately, we'll probably get some sprinkles or spits of rain in some spots. The better chance again will be in the mountains. This is the bigger system that we're tracking. This stronger storm just off the Vancouver Island coast is going to spin, move its way down, already hitting hard the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, getting some strong wind along with some rainfall. That one will move its way down, and its cold front as it approaches will give us those southwesterly winds that we'll start to see as early as tomorrow night, certainly on Friday. And when it passes through Friday night into Saturday, we'll have cool air behind it along with some wind behind this too. So this is the one that we're tracking. No advisories have been issued just yet, but if they do, you know Channel 8 will be all over that. And be sure to alert you on social media, of course, online. Windcast shows winds will increase tomorrow, especially by the afternoon, so expect some breezes back again for tomorrow. But the strongest winds are going to be on Friday. Notice these colors start to fire up even more on Friday. That's when we'll see the strongest winds. We're looking anywhere between 30 to possibly up to 40 miles per hour. Tonight, 61 degrees, mostly clouds, some light breezes tonight. We say light breezes because any type of showers that actually do evaporate, they'll give us a good gust of wind along with that. 86 degrees for tomorrow. Partly sunny, so we'll still have some clouds in the morning, more sunshine in the afternoon, and then those breezy winds will come later on in the day rather than earlier on in the day, so don't expect some strong winds in the morning. Highs for tomorrow, Leonte, 84 for you. Downtown, 85 will be 87 Sunrise Mountain, 88 Henderson, Green Valley. Mountains Edge, 85, Summerlin at 83 tomorrow. And here's how it looks for Pahrump, 83 for you. Boulder City, 84, 92 for Laughlin. So warmer tomorrow because we'll have more sunshine rather than all the clouds like we saw for the day today. 7-day forecast shows those winds on Friday, and notice the temperature drop. So we go from the 80s to the 70s Friday and Saturday. Behind the passage of that cold front, we start to get to your weekend. Looks nice. Next week, even better. Closer to 90. Look at that. 87 degrees on Monday. Mid-80s for Tuesday and Wednesday next week with plenty of sunshine. Countdown is on. Halloween, 13 days away.
We dress up here, by the way.
We go all out. Serious.
Game on when it comes to costumes.
I just can't wait to see yours.
Okay,
here we go.
We'll see.
And of course, as we just mentioned, Halloween's going to be here before you know it, and there's a lot of spooky happenings going on around town. We've made it easy for you guys at home to find something to do. Just go to LasVegasNow.com and then click on Halloween Happenings. You'll find the link in the Don't Miss It section. And we'll continue to update the page with all things Halloween for the rest of the month.
All right, there is plenty of room for everybody because last night Las Vegas was buzzing about the Golden Knights.
And today it's the Runnin' Rebels and college basketball. We've got Chris here with a look at sports.
Yeah, now remember last year was kind of a disappointing season with the basketball team. This year they have a chance to be pretty good, so it'll be exciting. I will show you what unfolded at today's Mountain West Media Summit here in Las Vegas. Could fans be in for a surprise? More on the league, plus your first chance to see the new and improved Runnin' Rebels tonight over the Thomas and Mack. John Treats joins us live coming up next. All right, this is great stuff. Now, fun to talk about Mountain West basketball, but things need a change. As coaches and players got together for the annual media day here in Las Vegas, one thing is clear. This league needs to improve. They need to get multiple teams into the NCAA tourney, but it's getting harder and harder.
Give us a etched in stone manual to get to the NCAA tournament. You check this box off, you check that box off, you win these games, you schedule this way, and you're in. But it changes every year. Kind of to mold around, in my opinion, who they want to get into the tournament. It's all about money. That's what drives everything, and ratings. So it's unfortunate because it's not how this game was meant to be. You know, it's supposed to be the Davids against the Goliaths. And they're trying like heck to get 8th, 9th place teams in these Power Fives into the tournament.
All right, now, along with Media Day comes the preseason polls. Always fun to take a look at these. Now, the anticipated finish, Nevada will be pretty good. They're on top, Aztec second, then Boise State. If you look at the poll now, UNLV is predicted to finish 6th, but a question is, one media member gave UNLV a first-place vote. They need to come forward and see and explain that for us. Also today, the Mountain West announced its 5 players who were on the all-tournament team, and one of those players was a guy named Chandler Hutchison. He's expected to be the best player in the league. He also made last year's Tigers first team. And speaking of Chandler, he's this year's preseason player of the year. The freshman of the year is UNLV's Brandon McCoy. He's a 5-star recruit out of San Diego. And the newcomer also comes from Nevada. The Wolfpack junior forward Caleb Martin is expected to do some pretty great things this year. Another guy expected to do some pretty great things this year, John Treach, joins us from inside the Thomas & Mack, where tonight it's the annual Scarlet and Gray Showcase. John, UNLV with the 12th rated recruiting class. Some exciting stuff over there tonight.
A lot of hype and a lot of history here at Thomas & Mack Center. I tell you what, if you want to see the Running Rebels, you want to see the Lady Rebels, you want autographs, you want a dunk contest, the TMC is the place to be tonight. And one of the guys who gets to enjoy it instead of be on the grind is assistant coach Eric Brown. Pretty cool for you to see your guys just come out and have fun after working so hard.
It is. It's a nice reward for them. They've been working hard, and we've had a pretty good off-season, summer, preseason so far. And for them to come out here and get the chance to have some fun, they deserve it.
And after a year like last year where it wasn't fun for the players or coaches, and the fans will say the same too, you got a lot of optimism. What's that like to bounce back like that with so much hopefulness?
Well, we're excited because we've got a good group coming in, but the guys returning have all gotten better, and the returners and the new guys have all meshed pretty well together. We've got good chemistry. Guys have been working hard. We had a really good summer with everybody here, so we're excited about the group we have, and they hang out off the floor. They're together all the time, so we like them.
And the dunk contest. I know you get to see these kids every day, but to see 19-year-olds get higher than a pterodactyl is got to be pretty special for the guys who recruited them, right?
They're excited for that. We see that in practice all the time. The best part about the dunk contest is there's no defense, and nobody can get hurt, right? So the fans will like that. We've got some guys that are high flyers, so they'll enjoy it.
Well, Coach is excited. We're excited. The high-flying Rebels take the court tonight to play each other, but it should be pretty fun. Reporting live, John Treach, 8 Sports Now.
All right, thanks, Sean. We'll have some highlights of those slam dunks tonight at 11. People still talking about the Golden Knights off to that 5-1 start. Nobody in this valley would have guessed, despite a softer schedule, that the Knights would be sitting at 5-1. In fact, after last night's overtime win, they tied a 100-year-old record for best start in a season by a new NHL team. Montreal did the same thing 100 years ago, but then they lost the 7th game. Knights have a chance to break that mark Saturday at home against St. Louis. Over in the ALCS today, Yankees hosting the Astros Game 5. This was all New York. No question in this one. Already leading 4-0 when Gary Sanchez homers for New York over left field. And then the final run of the game, that was it. Yankees go on to win it 5-0. Yankees are 6-0 in the postseason. The series shifts to Houston with the Yankees leading that series 3 games to do. They can wrap it up with one more. I'm excited about those dunks tonight. Yeah. We'll see what John can get, and he'll have it back here at 11 o'clock.
I want to see those pterodactyls that he was talking about.
Yeah, so do I.
Thanks, Chris. Well, Attorney General Jeff Sessions testifies on Capitol Hill.
Coming up here at 6:30, the questions lawmakers peppered him with, ranging from the DACA program to the Russian investigation.
Plus, Mega Millions is getting more expensive. The plus is that'll come out of a higher ticket price the next time you head to the state line to play the lottery.